Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on free timeless medley. I keep forgetting about this because I've been told that it's a recap movie. The Bond is one and the Promise is the other. And one is Ren centered and one is Haru centered. And I keep forgetting about it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch the OVA, we're gonna do starting days, we're gonna take your marks, and I forget about this. And I'm not usually one to react to recaps, like if it's just a rehash of the season, which I think these two movies mostly are. But I've been told that there's extra footage that they've added that is not in the actual anime in the season itself. And so because of that, that's why I'm reacting to it. So this reaction is going to put together the Bond and the Promise because I didn't want to do them separate. I feel like they were made to go together. So in the one vein, this may be a very edited reaction. Even those on Patreon, it may be very edited because I don't want to just sit there and react to stuff I've already seen unless there's some extra commentary that I think of in the moment. So this may be a very edited reaction, but for the most part, I am excited to see new footage with these characters, and I feel like it's fitting. It came out after season 2, so we need to, before we move on, to Take Your Marks, because I feel like Take Your Marks is that slide into season 3. Take Your Marks in episode 0 is going to be our preface to season 3. So I feel like before we get to that, we need to round out season 2 with talking about Timeless Medley, The Bond, and Timeless Medley, The Promise. And so I'm pretty excited to see what new footage comes out of this. I have no clue what we're going to see, but any new free footage is good to me because I love Free. I've fallen in love with the series. It's like my comfort anime. This and Skate the Infinity are my comfort anime. Like I will just sit there and just be like, if I'm feeling bad or if I have a headache or if I just don't feel good, I'll just pop this on and just marathon it and be like, it's free. So I hope you all enjoy the reaction. Please feel free to comment down below. Please no spoilers. But yeah, let's see what all this is about. I'm so color me intrigued. But we're going to start the Bond first because it's listed first on Funimation. So we're going to do the Bond first here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh my god. So, I've already committed to the idea of, watching both of these simultaneously, The Bond and then The Promise. So this reaction is going to be both. So I'm going to take a pause here and come back to y'all to discuss The Bond. But before I start on The Promise, because that ending what? So okay, the front half and the latter half is where all most of the new stuff was. So I did skip over. I did in this reaction. There was a lot skipped over because it was all just kind of repetitive, like stuff we've seen from season 2 already. It was a recap, fine. But one thing I am loving that this show is doing, so that these two movies are doing, at least the first movie is doing so far, is connecting Ikuya and Asahi into our cast. Finding a way to do that, because that was the one thing of Starting Days. I was like, how are they going to do this? Like, I loved Starting Days. Like, it was a really, really good movie, but I'm like, how are we going to tie in these characters to our main cast and make it seem fluid? Like, how are we going to do that? And they found a way. And we get from the very beginning that Asahi joining a different swim team, which I talked about in Starting Days, that made total sense that he went to a different high school. Even though he was connected really close with Iwatobi, he went to a different high school. You know, people go to different high schools for various reasons. It's not unthinkable. I get it. And then it showed Akuya flying away. My theory was that, and I don't know, maybe in season 3 it'll be proven right or wrong, or maybe they won't even touch on it, was that his brother moved away to a different high school, and so Akuya had to travel with him and his mom too. But I love that we got the little tie-in with Asahi talking to his friends about the guy with the glasses influencing him. Like what a fan servicey callback. And I want so bad now for Asahi and Ray to meet one more time now that they're in high school or in college and know each other, and to make that connection. Like, I want it so bad. Like, this was such a tease. And I'm like, come on, show. Do this for me. Let Asahi and Ray, let the Butterfly Club meet again. I need this. And so maybe it'll happen. I don't know. Don't spoil me. But that was so exciting. But because Samazuka was pretty much absent from this. This was all about Iwatobi, the bond that Haru has with his friends. And Rin is mentioned. It shows Rin taking him to Australia. It shows the bond that he has with Rin. It is established that. But this was really about Haru and his bond with Rei, Nagisa, and Makoto. Like, that was really the bond. And the beginning where we see just how deep the connection and relationship between Makoto and Haru is. Like, they're childhood friends. They've known each other since they were toddlers. And it's like, the fact that Haru was the first one to reach out his hand to Makoto, and that influencing Makoto, oh my god, you guys. So good. So good. But then we have the ending. And I love that they've tied in stuff from the OVA, because I love they've made it canon. They've tied in all this canon. The OVA is officially canon with season 2, and I couldn't be happier for that, because in the OVA they established that Sosuke is really bad with directions. He gets lost easily, and I think that's hilarious. And of course, in a big gymnasium where there's just twists and turns and stuff, Sosuke goes to the vending machine and gets lost. He's like, wait, how do I get back to everybody? What do I do? Because I know people that have bad sense of directions as well, and so that's very realistic. And so Sosuke's like, oh crap. I also noticed how Sosuke opens his can up the same way as Rin. Okay, show. But I like that Rin stumbles across, or Sosuke stumbles across one of the heats going on, and he sees Akuya. And Sosuke's instantly like, oh, who's this guy? Who's this really talented swimmer? And that's how we're going to tie Akuya to everything. It's going to be like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's going to be like Kasumi knows these characters. Asahi knows Rei, and that's his tie-in to Iwatobi. I like the Asahi's tie-in to Iwatobi is through Rei. And Akuya's tie-in, perhaps to Samazuka, is going to be through Sosuke seeing him swim. Sosuke Akuya crack pairing? I'm still with So-Rin, but okay. Sosuke clearly was like, this guy's good. And I like that they're building that up, because I could see maybe in season 3, if Akuya's swimming for a different team, him competing against Haru and that becoming a thing. Like, that would be really cool. Because Rin's in Australia, so of course Haru and them are probably going to have meets in Australia, but not as frequently as perhaps Japan. So that's really interesting. Yeah. Akuya getting grown up in high school, just suavely sitting on the deck of his beautiful fancy house. And his brother's on the phone, which I'm assuming his brother's in college. And so maybe his brother's just asking him, like, how are the swim meets going? What's going on? Because it looks like Akuya's still in high school at this point, because he's the same age as Haru. He would be a third year too. But that ending was such a tease, and I'm like, I need more Akuya in my life. And so I'm so excited that maybe in the promise we get to see more of him. I'm so ready for that. But yeah, guys. Yeah, the bond, that was really sweet. The new material, loved it. But I'm so hyped for the promise now. So hyped. So yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that, y'all. I can't wait. So yeah. So I'm getting ready to start. We are going to start the promise now. I agreed to do these together, and I'm not splitting them up now. So we're going to start free Timeless Medley, The Promise, and see what all happens here. It looks like it is the same length as the other one. I'm a Team Samazuka girl. I love my Iwatobi boys. They're all sunshine and rainbows, but there's just something about our angsty shark boys that I'm like, yes, please. Oh my gosh, guys. Let's do this. We're going to start The Promise here in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh, okay. I thought for a second when they were talking about Haru laughing that it was the moment, like, from the little free shorts, because they tickle him and make Haru laugh, and I was like, oh, I've seen those already, but I guess this is previewing Take Your Marks, so is that stuff going to happen in Take Your Marks too? I don't know. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was not you all did not prepare me for all of the extra goodness that were in these two movies. I wasn't ready. I thought because several of you on here have been like, oh, you need to watch Timeless Medley. It's the Bond and the Promise. There's a Rin focused one and a Haru focused one, and I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, well, they're kind of recapping the seasons, but there's some extra stuff in there. There's some extra stuff. Y'all, you did not. Thank you for not spoiling me. I appreciate it, but I came into this very underwhelmed. I came to this not expecting anything. I was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to get like a few extra shots maybe of just some extra scenes. Okay, fine, that's cool. I did not expect all that we got, especially in the second one, in The Promise. We got so much extra stuff. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, because, they do recap movies, right? Haikyuu did a recap where it was all of season 1 and at the end of season 1 there was like a little extra with Date Tech, and then there was all of season 2, and then there was a little extra with Alba Josai and their team, and it was like a 5-minute little extra thing, and I was like, that's what I thought I was going to get. No! What I love about this, and I talked about it previously, is that we're tying in these characters that we met in Starting Days, Asahi and Akuya. We're tying them into the story and weaving it in. And I was really nervous about that at the end of Starting Days. I'm like, okay, how are we going to get these characters to integrate into the story naturally and it feel not forced or out of nowhere, right? And this did that. Like, it's clear that Asahi, which by the way, Asahi looks so good, like as a high schooler adult. He's matured so much. I'm like, oh, awesome. I'm so excited to see how his personality, if it's changed or if he's still like as chaotic as before or how that's different. I'm so excited. But he's going back to see Kasumi? Are him and Kasumi a thing? I didn't know I needed this. I kind of want him to be now. I kind of want them to be a thing now. I always thought it was going to be like Akuya and Asahi based on Starting Days, but no, this makes much more sense. This makes much more sense. Asahi and Kasumi makes much more sense. And I'm assuming because Kasumi is our resident 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, Kasumi is our resident plot connector, that Asahi being with Kasumi, maybe during Take Your Marks, is how he's going to meet the other characters. That would be so cool. And then Akuya. I didn't even realize they did an individual medley, which makes sense. You do an individual race and you do all 4 strokes. Rin would be good at that. Haru only swims free, but maybe that's going to be a plot thing in season 3 where Haru needs to get better at the other strokes to do individual medley. I don't know. But it definitely seems like something Rin is going to be doing. And, oh my god, like Sosuke being like, look, you're going to face this Kirishima Akuya. He's really good, and he reminds me a lot of Haru, so get ready for that. And it's like, I'm getting such Mia twin vibes from Haikyuu with this, because like they established in season 4 of Haikyuu that Shoyo is finding that he can not only compete with Kageyama, but Atsumu Mia is also someone that is a presence too, that he can connect with. And I feel like that's happening now. Like Akuya has been perfecting all of these strokes and using Haru as a reference during the freestyle, and Sosuke instantly picked up on it. He's like, that is like Haru style of swimming. And I feel like now Rin will not only have Haru to be a source of inspiration, but also Akuya as well. So I like that that's how Akuya is integrating into the story. This dude with the glasses, I thought that was his brother at first. I thought that was his brother, like just chilling out in the dorms with him, like just coming to hang out for a weekend. But it's not. It's a new character. And he has this like instantly like flirty vibe. He's like, oh, that's so cute. I'm like, who are you? Like, oh man. The parts with Rin's father were so emotional, and that connection of Sosuke just being supportive from the get-go. And it all makes sense. Like, Rin has been a supportive character, and especially in season 2, once he got his shit together and got all that diva angst out of him in season 1, season 2 Rin was kind of like what this has established, like being a supportive person in his own, way. And that, and the end part with Sosuke, like, Sosuke has had such a unrequited love vibe with him, and I know that Rin likes Sosuke as a friend, and Rin really cares about Sosuke. I don't know if Rin at this point, if we can totally confirm that Rin, I don't think Rin cares for Sosuke as much as Sosuke cares for Rin. I do think that that's true, but I am a Rin fan, so I think that Rin does like Sosuke a lot and cares a lot about him. But Sosuke is like, he is devoted to Rin to the point where he's like had to have a conversation about Akuya with him to warn him. But also, I love when he was like, "You're gonna write me letters, right?" And Rin's like, "Oh yeah, and I'm gonna do a better job of writing you back." So they're gonna keep being pen pals, even though they have a cell phone. Doesn't matter. There's gonna be that, and I like that he's like, confirmed. Sosuke does not like sweet things. Confirmed. He's like, not something sweet. Want something else. But I don't know what that is. I am a little let down that they made it to nationals in the medley, but we never found out how they did. Show. You're not going to give us that? Really? You're not going to give us that. Okay. Fine. I don't need to know. But I love that Notori, we get to see him in action as the captain at the end, and everybody respects him, and it's so wonderful. Rei is the captain. I thought it was going to be Nagisa, because Nagisa got the whole group together. But in hindsight, Nagisa is way too chaotic to be captain. He'd have them all eating Iwatobi surprise bread and not taking practices nearly as seriously as they should. Rei is serious enough that he can be captain material. And that makes me so happy, because it means that Notori and Rei have come so far in working hard to get where they are, and it's like, you guys did it. You guys did it. You worked so hard, and here you are. I love that. I absolutely love it. It's so sweet. You guys, this was just so good. This really, I came into this, I'll be honest, like the OVA, I loved, and I love that it's canon. They're tying it into all this. And Starting Days was such a refreshing change of pace with Free that I really, really enjoyed it. But I will be honest, I took a break and didn't get to these two films for a little bit, for like a week, because I wasn't looking forward to it, because I was like, oh, it's just going to be a recap, and it's going to be long, and it's going to be a recap, and I was like, eh. But I'm so glad you all told me to watch this, because I feel like I'd been so lost and I wouldn't have been lost, but I would have missed out on so much if I hadn't watched these. And it's just, I'm like, at this point, we still have Take Your Marks, we have episode 0, and then we have season 3. But after those things, it's going to be like a hiatus until we get the next movie. And I know it's supposed to come out this year, but I still feel like it's going to be a hiatus. I'm not ready to be on hiatus from Free yet. I really love Free, and it's really good. And I really kind of like it, and I'm not ready to be done. So I'm savoring every bit of free content that I can savor. I am doing that, because it's like, I just need it. So, guys, this was amazing. This was so good. And I love at the end, Notori and Momo, they see Nagisa and Rei, and they're like, hey, friendly competitions. So that has me excited for season 3 too, because I'm like, we'll probably be going back and forth. We'll probably get Rin in Australia, we'll get Mako and Haru, we'll get probably Sosuke's adventures, we'll get this Akuya and Asahi dynamic, whatever's happening there, wherever they end up at. And then I have a good feeling that we're going to go back to Notori, Momo, and Rei and Nagisa, and the new members. I'm assuming Iwozumi and the other breaststroke guy are going to be in there too. Iwozumi maybe we'll do butterfly or something like that, and then now Notori has also done freestyle, so maybe Notori's going to switch over to freestyle to let the other guy do breaststroke. I don't know. Who knows? I'm curious to see how that dynamic is going to go, and the new members that they get. I'm curious to see who Iwatobi is going to get for new members. That's going to be interesting as well. Even if we don't focus on the new members, if we still go back to Rei and Nagisa, that's fine. And then the metaphor of Mako and Haru taking the first steps in Tokyo towards college, and it imitating the gunshot of the race starting. That was so good too. So, oh, you guys, I'm so ready for Take Your Marks. I'm so ready. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. But yeah, guys, in the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed these reactions. Please feel free to comment down below. Please no spoilers, but I was so surprised by this. I really didn't see it coming. And me getting so invested and being so happy. I should have known. It's Free. I love Free. How could I not enjoy it? But I'm about to go make my computer wallpaper back into my Sosuke one. So, because that was great. But y'all, in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And yeah, next time, take your marks. I'm so ready. But Have a great week, guys, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.